going on, America? This is Kevin from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And you know what doesn't make sense to me is why some people in America that's hypersensitive over all this racism that suddenly has just made a comeback in the last maybe 4.5, 5 years in full effect once Trump ran against Hillary. I mean, it was the groundwork was being laid with Obama and all that stuff. But then, man, I don't remember when we used to watch Archie Bunker and George Jefferson and all of them. I don't remember us all getting mad and wanting to fight and say, we can't watch that no more because of the racist undertones that it had. No, we all looked at it and we all laughed. We all enjoyed shows like that because we knew that, hey, man, we're so far removed from that type of racism. We can joke and laugh about it and not want to scrap and say you're insensitive because you watched the episode of the Jeffersons last night or Archie Bunker. But since that doesn't fit into the Democratic and the liberal media's agenda, which is to make sure that we're racially divided and mad at each other, they had to jumpstart racism that was on life support. Yeah, racism was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it through the night. Tell all the liberals I love them. Tell the Democrat Party it was great working with y'all throughout the last couple hundreds of years. Tell the devil I love him and all that stuff. And the Democratic Party and the liberal media was like, no, we ain't letting you go. Clear. And they brought racism back in full effect. So now since racism has made a comeback, the world, or at least America, have seemed to have lost their mind. Some of the citizens who don't realize that this is a ploy to divide us. And they have picked up these small, stupid, nonsensical, causes. Like, for example, renaming all of these military bases. Now, I want you to realize something, guys. What does that do for anybody? That's what I want to know. Who are the people behind the curtain saying, you know what would be great? Let's go ahead and launch a campaign to rename these military bases. And I'm going to tell you probably why they're doing it. Is because they would love for that question to be thrown at Trump. Knowing Trump is not politically correct, knowing Trump realized that this is nothing more than a PC culture trying to manipulate people and make them think that this is going to make a difference in people's lives by renaming these military bases. So all of these people who are woke, they're like, yeah, I mean, I think we should rename it because they're rooted in racism. And then you get to Trump and he's like, what? Why would I do that? That's stupid. There's no need to do it. Do you understand the rich history that came out of the people in those military bases that went through those military bases? They weren't thinking this is a racist base and I shouldn't be here. Their memories are about the brothers and sisters that were part of them and the fights and the wars that they went through and all of that stuff. And they were proud to come from that military base. That doesn't mean you have to be proud of the name or the person that the military base might be named after. So for some reason, humans in America have adopted this mentality that by changing the names of things and tearing down statues, that's going to combat racism. Now, let's be honest. How many brothers are walking around right now and aware of all these military base names and saying to themselves, you know what the real problem is in America? These military base names. If they get rid of those or change those, I think I feel better about my situation, about my life, and about racism. See, that's what's called busy work. That's what's called you're running around doing stuff that you want people to look at and say, it appears that they're woke and they're doing stuff, but that stuff doesn't change anything. It doesn't impact lives. Perfect example of that was Kamala Harris and Cory Booker. Well, they want to put forth a no lynching bill. We were proposing a no lynching act. We want that signed into law. As if right now by having a law that says you can't lynch people, it's going to stop people from lynching people. When is the last lynching you heard of in America? Huh? What can the bill do that the law can't do? Huh? I mean, are any lynchers out there going to stop and think about it before they lynch somebody and say, wait a minute, I would lynch this black man, but that no lynching law, man, is greater than the murder laws. So anyway, in college, I played at Miami University. We were called the Redskins. And all of a sudden, we got to rename the team. And I'm thinking, for what? For what? I mean, I didn't have a problem with it. The Native Americans didn't have a problem with it as far as I knew. Only people who had a problem with it were white liberals. It did just come up with this idea that, you know, what we think will be best for you all is to rename it because it's not appropriate for us to be calling it the Redskins. So now it's the Red Hawks. And whenever I hear it, I'm like, what? What team? People will be like, dude, did you play for the Red Hawks? I'm like, who are the Red Hawks? Well, you know, that's the new name. I'm like, no, we were Redskins. But because people think by changing names is going to psychologically heal years of, I guess, hurt and pain and wipe away history and make current people who are living that did not even suffer that type of persecution feel a little bit better about their situation. Walking around feeling like, man, you guys renaming that dealt with all the systemic racism that's out there. And it's ridiculous. All it is virtue signaling. All it is busy work. Look at me, I'm doing a lot of work. I'm shuffling around, but doing nothing. Whole bunch of words that mean nothing. Things like, you know, the anti-lynching bill. So anyway, with that being said, by this logic, I want to go back down some songs that should be removed from history. Some songs that were written by black, sometimes white rappers and things like this. This was before, of course, you know, they had their revelation to Donald Trump, say white nationalists in the White House. And so by that logic, I think we should go ahead and erase all these songs, but let's just get one more listen to them for old time's sake before we just rip them out of history. All right, so get ready for me as I cue up my DJ sounds coming live from Kevin's Corner. Stay tuned for the party.
I did a concert in the White House, and after that, me and Donald Trump hung out. I gotta say what's up to Digital Underground and Healthy Humps, cause he making more than Donald Trump. Beat going on like Donald Trump gets checks. I got spunk, I'm well known like Donald Trump. Lick me up and lick me up just to get a pump. Forget Black Caesar, brothers call me Black Trump. Put my cash in my pockets than Donald Trump. Every day like Donald Trump. But yo, guess who's the Black Trump? You can boom, rock, and jump to the sounds I pump, but I ain't quitting till I'm shitting on Donald Trump. Got a business mind, so if I lose Kid Rock, I'll still be in the house getting paid like Trump. New Trump, brand new funk, keep a pocket full of California stuff. The 95 shit will always funk. The 96 fuck them, fuck the script and break them off some new Trump. Got the room stuck, I smoke and make dope like Trump. I ain't talking about no bullshit ass flipping. What? Coolio? The Trump type access, they covered off again. The Trump change. D40? Nah, Trump change. Trump change, baby. I'm talking Donald Trump change. I'm talking Steve, man. I'm talking, you know, Trump change. Trump change. Ice Cube. Donald Trump. Niggas always expect to see us two together stable. The best couple they seen since Trump and Marla Mabel. The new Don Trump is still king. Nas again? Not because his occupation is cause we respect his king.
Nelly,
your ass over the hump. We
Cypress Hill,
money so we can be living like Trump. We can talk Trump talk.
56
stocks and bonds. I buy cars with straight cash.
Luda,
Meetings with Donald Trump. Magnus, alcohol, freaks, the remedy.
Busta Rhymes,
Donald Trump is y'all. Every minute, big Trump thing. Making dollars, honey,
Black Street,
bucks, man. Knowing it like Donald Trump. I know my way like Sherman.
Lil Wayne,
I got a hold of my state like Donald Trump. 27 cars in a 12-bedroom house. Now they call me Snoopy Trump. I'm Donald Trump with raccoon hairdo. I'm Donald Trump and I'm Weezy and white ones. The conversation is money, nigga. You won't say.
Sean Paul,
Still absurd money.
P. Diddy,
That Bill Gates, Donald Trump, Bloomberg money.
Make the block up. Boys in the hood call me Black Donald Trump.
I'm a Trump, a nigga burn, it's only fire at night. Resurrection of the
Rick
real,
Ross,
trying to get richer than Trump. I still does it, breathing off a Trump budget. Fire motherfucker, Donald Trump, nigga.
Lil Wayne,
I have money like Donald
Juvenile,
Give me fame and fortune, me and
Kendrick
Trump
Lamar.
on golf courses. Homies on the block, say whatever they want. I don't wanna be a dealer, I wanna be a Trump.
Now, I don't even need to continue. I mean, that right there was about 30 or so rappers mentioning Donald Trump, talking about being like Donald Trump, talking about meeting Donald Trump, all of that stuff. But now that the covers have been peeled back and all of a sudden the wool has been removed from our eyes and we see that he's a white nationalist in the White House. All of these songs need to be pulled off radio. They need to be snatched down from history. These men need to walk around denouncing all the songs that they wrote with Trump's name in it, because obviously, now that their opinions, many opinions have changed about Trump, then obviously we need to go back and just erase everything with his name on it. Every rapper that was busting around, and these guys are black. Most of them was black. A couple of them, white and Puerto Rican, whatever. But that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter, okay? Because see, if you, for whatever reason, attached yourself, was a part of, supports anything that the masses right now finds politically incorrect, then obviously we should go and just start tearing stuff down, removing names, changing it, and all that stuff. And then if these guys right here say, nah, man, nah, you ain't going to make me change the title of my song. You ain't gonna make me snatch it off of iTunes or wherever it's at. You ain't gonna make me do that. Then obviously all these guys are racist and white nationalists, right? Think about that. See, so when you start capitulating to stupidity like that, virtue signaling, trying to make it seem like dumb stuff like removing names and statues and doing all this stuff is going to make a difference. Yeah. Think about this right here. Do the parallel and say, wow, does that make, yeah, you know what, you got a point. That doesn't make sense. Nobody's going to walk past that air base or whatever and say, now that that's no longer named that, I feel better about racism. The longer humanity lives, the dumber they get. It's unbelievable. I never thought, if you would have asked me in the 90s that we would be here arguing over stuff like this, I'd have been like, no way. We're going to be so far removed from this stupidity, but here we go. We're regressing. We're backsliding. Anyway, you've been listening to Kevin and Kevin's Corner. Don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, and the notification button. Find me on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, my radio blog talk show on Wednesday nights, live, 7:30. Hit like, share, subscribe, and the notification button. Check, make sure you still get notifications and it's set to all, and make sure you're still subscribed. Check out Extreme Teas, my sponsor. If you like the products, put Kevin in the promo code, you'll get a 20% discount. And if you want to donate to Kevin and Kevin's Corner, feel free. The link's below this video. God bless. See you next time in Kevin's Corner.